So in this section, we're going to talk about the translation or identifying the translation transformation when you're given a function or given an equation. So let's look at our first example. G of x equals the absolute value of x plus 4 and then plus 5. So let's look at the number that's inside the absolute value. So since it's plus 4 inside the absolute value, it translates left 4 units. And then let's look at the number that's behind the absolute value. Since it's plus 5 behind the absolute value, then it translates up 5 units. So that's all you have to write when you're identifying the transformation for this given function. And that's pretty much that you have. You have two numbers, so only two transformation. In terms of translation. So let's look at example 2. We have h of x equal the absolute value of x minus 8 and then minus 7. So let's look at the minus 8 inside the absolute value. So since it's negative 8 inside the absolute value, then it's going to translate right 8 units. Then let's take a look at the minus 7 that's behind the absolute value. So minus 7 or negative 7. So it's going to translate down 7 units. So since there's only two numbers in terms of translation, then it's only two transformations that we can only identify. So again, that's all you have to do when given a function or given an equation. You just write out the transformation. So next, we're going to talk about when you're given the transformation, like how I wrote here, and you're asked to write the equation. So I'm going to leave these examples here, and then we're going to compare with our following example. So in this next example, where we are given the transformation, and you're asked to write the equation according to the transformation. So translate right 11 units for the absolute value of x. So typically you're going to say for absolute value of x. So first off, I want to write, and you can use any letters. So maybe I'll use k of x. So we're going to have the absolute value for sure. Alright. Now since it says write 11, so write 11, so if we compare to the previous example, here we have write 8, and you see it's minus 8. So if it says write 11, that means I'm going to write plus 11. And then the next one says up 15. So if we look at the previous example where here it says up 5 and it was written as plus 5. So my equation, if it's up 15, I'm simply going to write plus 15. And that is my equation for these two given transformation. So again, when you're given a transformation, just make sure that you remember the patterns, the rules, on how to write the equation. So my answer is k of x equals the absolute value of x plus 11 and then plus 15. So in our next example, which you can pause to copy down the example. So here it says translate left 5 units for absolute value of x and translate down 20 units. So if we use the two previous examples that we worked on before, so say I use m of x equal to the absolute value of x, Now here it says left 5 units. If we compare, here we have left 4 units. From the example it says plus 4 for left 4. So for here, if it's left 5, we can write plus 5. Then for down 20, if we look at the example on the right up here, this one says down 7 and it matched with minus 7. So if this one say down 20, then you write minus 20. So that's all you have to write for the equation when given these two translations. So translate left 5 plus 5. Translate down 20 minus 20. So my answer is m of x equals the absolute value of x plus 5 minus 20. So in our next example, which you can pause in order to record this or write down the question or the transformation and then continue. So in this example, it says translate left 17 units for absolute value of x, translate up 23 units. So say I want to start writing n of x equal the absolute value of x like this. So left 17 is similar to this example where it says left 4 plus 4. So here where I'm going to write behind the x, since it's left 17, I'm going to write plus 17. And then where it says up 23, very similar to over here, it says up 5, so plus 5. Since ours is up 23, we're going to write plus 23. So my answer is n of x equal the absolute value of x plus 17 and then plus 23. So that's going to be my equation for these two given transformations. And again, that's all you have to do. Once you understand the patterns, the rules, then it will be easy to identify transformation when given the equation, or given the transformation, write out the equation or write out the function. So you make sure to know how to do regardless of what question that you have. If you're given the equation or given the transformation, you gotta do it either way.